For as long as you have existed, you have told stories. You have heard them and passed them on, inherited the stories of others, and written your own. For as long as we have existed, we have been storytellers. Stories are as old as the human race and are, I just want to put this out there, what make us human, the shaping of them, the telling of them. All of these engage and remind us of our common humanity. Stories connect us individually and collectively to what we can look forward to, where our vulnerabilities lie, how we can prevail, how we can flourish. We live in a world that is saturated with stories. Narrative is everywhere. We find it in the full range of creative expression, not only in the written and the oral traditions, but in music and the many visual arts, from painting, performance, and beyond. And it's everything. Or, as the scholar Roland Barthes put it, narrative is simply there, like life itself. But not all stories are the same. What is it about the story of Joseph, locked in painful struggle with his brothers, that draws us in? What is it about the story of Jesus, at his most vulnerable, defending a reviled woman, her tears spilling onto his feet, that engages us in his ultimate grief? What is it about Queen Esther's decisive moment as she steels herself against the capricious wrath of the Persian king for the sake of the survival of her people that fires our imagination for our own communities? Or Prometheus, who risked everything to bring fire to humanity, that aligns us with the painful sacrifice of those who have gone before us. Or Sita's commitment to righteousness that lays bare the personal costs of loyalty and redoubles our commitment to it. Or Sky Woman in her watchful gratitude as she sees a world made through an extraordinary collaboration, the self-giving of all the animals, otter, beaver, sturgeon, muskrat, and turtle, who cushion her fall from above. These stories have the long reach, extending from the ancient world to reflect something of the profundity and the timelessness of human experience, encompassing both the strange and the strangely familiar, the fantastical and the enduring. Sacred stories are different because they have the power to hold us, to shape our sense of our own lives, to frame our fears, and inspire our ultimate hopes. And along the way, they make the unseen visible, as Sarah Iles Johnson has observed, bringing us into deeper communion with other worlds, other imaginaries. I am thinking of the story of the god Krishna, incarnate as a little boy, and his mortal foster mother, Yashoda. Krishna has been accused by the other kids of eating dirt, and his foster mother, Yashoda, scolds him for it. In the most human of scenes, a recalcitrant little boy, a firm mother, he denies it and challenges her to see for herself. Mother Yashoda peers into her little boy's mouth, and she saw in his mouth the whole universe, with the far corners of the sky and the wind and lightning and the orb of the earth with its mountains and oceans and the moon and the stars and space itself. And she saw her own village, and she saw herself. The whole world, the whole cosmos in the mouth of this little boy, too wondrous for her to hold in her mind or remember, except that it remains in her love for Krishna when she returns to herself. As Wendy Doniger observed about the power of this sacred story, what could be more personal, more deeply rooted in the things of this world, more literally down to earth or earthy than a small, dirty boy lying about dirt in his mouth? But taking off from this modest moment, the myth plummets down and turns the universe inside out, shifting gears entirely into the warp speed of a myth, a sacred story. Sacred stories do this. They turn our worlds inside and out. The whole world lies inside the tiny mouth of a tiny boy. These all too human, grounded, and earthy moments of sacred stories are always evoking something larger and beyond our reach, visible in only a glimmer. Through stories like these, deeply enmeshed within the world's religious traditions, we perceive in glimpses and find our way. We return to them again and again, making them our own, taking them forward with us, but connecting to the ancient truths of who we are. Or, as Robin Kimmerer writes of the sacred story that animates her imagination, it is so rich and glittering, it feels to me like a deep bowl of celestial blue, from which I could drink again and again. It holds our beliefs, our history, our relationships. Looking into that starry bowl, I see images swirling so fluidly that the past and the present become as one. It speaks not just of where we came from, but also of how we can go forward.